Welcome back. We're switching things up on you. I'm usually the one behind the camera, and Chris is usually the scenery and the muscle. But I had to work this time. So we picked up our kiddos and I sent him off and told him to take pictures. He was excited to try out his new camper. He'll give you a tour later. Hi, I'm Natalie. This is Chris, Bubba, and Birdie. We always seem to find ourselves on a new adventure, and we try to take advantage of each one. Come along as we share a little bit about the journey. Bird had a party in Abilene, so she and Dad headed north on Texas Vietnam Veterans Memorial Highway 83 through the little town of Payne Truck. I love these old courthouses, and there's one in almost every little town here in Texas. This one was built in 1886. The stone came from a quarry just a few miles from Payne Truck. Just outside Abilene, you'll find Fort Phantom Hill. Officially, it was called the Post on the Clear Fork of the Brazos. It was home to 5 companies of the United States Army from 1851 to 1854, and it was originally established to protect those traveling and settling the West from the Comanche who called this part of the country home. The fort struggled with its water supply. The Brazos was unreliable, and it was eventually abandoned. Soon after everyone left, a fire destroyed much of the fort, but a few buildings still stand, along with haunting foundations and chimneys among the mesquite and the cactus. After it was abandoned by the Army, the fort became a stopping point for the Butterfield stagecoach and the Southern Overland Mail route, and was once again used by the Confederate Frontier Battalion during the Civil War. Fort Phantom enjoyed a short stint as a bustling little town with a hotel and a post office in the 1880s, and it was even the Jones County seat for a time. It's believed the post on the Clear Fork of the Brazos got its name Fort Phantom Hill because of the hill it sits on. As you come up to it, it just kind of disappears on you. Fort Phantom Hill is now considered one of the most pristine historic sites in Texas. It's open daily to the public for self-guided tours. Drive north out of Abilene on State Highway 351 and enjoy some amazing views on your way to Albany, Texas. Albany is the seat of Shackelford County, and it was established in 1873. It's home to the Fort Griffin Fandangle, a Broadway-worthy outdoor musical put on every year since 1938, based on its Western heritage. The town was a supply point on the Great Western Cattle Trail and became a shipping point when the railroad arrived. It's also home to the original Beehive Restaurant and Saloon, a steakhouse you have to try if you ever make it to Albany. Chris's next stop was Fort Griffin State Historic Site. It was established in 1867 and sits on a plateau overlooking Albany.
Touring all the forts in Texas at the time. Once this happened, while he was in Texas, he just said, we're done trying to keep the peace and we're going to go to war with these tribes.
Fort Griffin was a support post in the campaigns to end the Kiowa and Comanche control of North Texas and provide protections for settlers and travelers. One of the West's 5 wildest towns grew around the fort. It was known as the Flat, or Hyde Town. The Flats were known to be visited by Wild West notables such as Wyatt Earp and Big Nose Kate. Buffalo hunters also set up shop, and soldiers served as law enforcement. Eventually, the Texas Rangers were brought in. Fort Griffin is open to visitors daily for self-guided tours and does charge a small admission fee. Join Chris as he takes a step back in time.
So this would have been the barracks back in the frontier times. This is the administration building. Give you you've been in the military, this is probably where they messed your pay up. You know what I'm talking about.
The fort sits on the Great Western Cattle Trail from San Antonio to Dodge City, Kansas. It's now home to the official state of Texas Longhorn herd. This sturdy breed of cattle descended from Spanish cattle. Over time, they became well adapted to the harsh environments that Texas had to offer. Eventually, though, European breeds yielded more beef and became more popular, and Longhorn numbers began to decline. The state herd was established and now numbers about 250 head. Chris settled down for the night in one of the campsites that sits along the Clear Fork of the Brazos River. You could take advantage of the fishing, hiking trails, and if you like stargazing, there's minimal light pollution because the area is surrounded by large ranches.
I got the coffee on this morning. Pretty good night last night. Didn't get too cold. We watched a couple of movies in the camper top. Me and the old Pancho. He did not sleep outside last night. He slept inside the camper. Got my windshield covers up to keep the sun out. Worked good. Yep, pretty good night. Now we're gonna have some coffee and some breakfast and go see if we can get some more pictures of some courthouses.
I have to say I might be glad I missed this trip. I'm a little more of a powder puff camper. Pancho approves, though. The last stop on Chris and Pancho's trip was Throckmorton, Texas. It was established in 1858 and is one of the 6 dry counties left in the state. Thanks for coming along and checking out some of the history of the great state with us. Be sure to tell Chris how great he did in the comments below, and like and subscribe if you haven't yet. We'll see you next time.